So here we have our ribs, $15 for spare ribs. Okay, these were on sale at Kroger. The other ones, the St. Louis style cut, they were about $23. So basically I can take this, cut this down, and make a go ahead and grab my rub too.
Where's it at?
It should be up on the top of the, and some paper towels. Man, y'all are just, they're slacking on me big time today.
Who, me?
Yeah. Y'all should have had all of this ready for me. So here's that membrane that I was talking about. You want to go ahead and remove. That's enough. So basically I'm taking that membrane off. This is also some other part. What that membrane is actually is that membrane, all the intestines, everything is back past this. This right here protects from that membrane protects from the lungs, the heart, all that kind of stuff. So if I was going to do like a spare rib, see this breastbone? If I was going to do this thing the whole spare rib, I would basically just come in and remove that, because you're not going to be able, after it's cooked, I'm not going to be able to cut through that piece right there. Now, a lot of people ask, well, what do you do with all of what you cut off of here? A lot of people will take and put it on the smoker, smoke it for a couple of hours. This right here makes a good ham, like a ham hock for a pot of beans, something of that sort. So now I'm going to go ahead and cut these down into my St. Louis cut. Prior, this would still be on there just like that, but I went ahead and cut it off to show you what I would do if I was going to do a spare rib. I want to come down here and find these last couple of ribs, and then basically remove this back piece here. Now what I want to do is I want to come in and find the tops of my rib bones all the way down, trim off a little bit of this fat here. And then basically like that. Now I have a St. Louis style rib. Like I said, this is still good right here. This is still good for beans, something like that. My son learned something that we teach in the in our turkey class. I almost need a nurse up here. That we teach in our turkey class, that when we pre-season the oil for frying turkeys, we'll season up ribs and drop them into the oil. So he learned that about deep frying ribs. So whenever I have these knuckles and stuff like this left over, he comes in, separates them like that, seasons them, and we have a little kitchen top little deep fryer, and he deep fries these into little riblets. So there's all kinds of uses for this. It's still good meat, but like I said, most people prefer St. Louis style versus spare ribs. So that's an easy way to get your St. Louis. Also, see this bone right here? That's not a full rib. It's kind of a partial. It's cut sideways. So I'm just going to go ahead and remove that. So now comes to removing the membrane. So I'm just going to take my knife up underneath it and kind of roll it up like that. Just run along the bone, ice pick, oyster knife, butter knife. Just put it up underneath there and roll it off. This is the key to pulling the membrane. If I was to grab a hold of this with my hand like that, it's slippery. I cannot grab a hold of it.
paper towel.
Get that one rib up at, started all the way up to the top, like so. Now let's see if I get the golden ticket. Almost. So there I've got my membrane removed. If it has a little bit still left on it, that's fine. But like I said, you just want that off of there so your seasoning can adhere to it and your smoke to penetrate.
You're not using an adhesive.
No, I'm not on this one. This one basically straight out of that ice chest. I can already see this pork is kind of sweating a little bit, so I've got enough moisture on there for it to adhere to. A lot of times also what I'll do if I'm like, I'll take and put my seasoning on, and then I'll get my say my olive oil spray over the top of it, put just a coat of oil over it.
So you don't pre-marinate it or anything like that?
You can brine it, marinate it. I generally don't tend to. If I do anything, I will brine.
What is the difference between
Brining is basically just a sugar and salt that helps the moisture in it, kind of like brining a chicken. Now marinating, me personally, when it comes to pork ribs, I want to still be able to taste the pork. So marinating will mask a lot of that up. So I don't want to do that. So I generally don't marinate, just a brine. But see, there we have a very nice looking rack of ribs ready to go onto the pit. So do we have any questions?
If it was spare, would you still have cut off all that other stuff?
Yes, if it was spare, like I said earlier, if it was a spare, I would. This is the only thing that I would cut off of it would be that breastbone.
Leave everything else.
And leave everything else. Yeah, because like I said, once you cook it, it's not easy going in here finding those joints and knuckles to cut through that. So I just take and remove that off completely.
How long before you put it on do you recommend putting the seasoning? How long? I'll let it rest like that for a while?
Not long. Not long at all. If I was gonna, like, say, if you were gonna do it the night before, I would season them, wrap them up in Saran wrap, or if you have a cryovac system, like a food saver, put them in that food saver, cryovac them, put them in.